Due to die at 70 like people do in the future, George might not even make it that far. Ever since his 69th birthday, things have gone from bad to worse. He's almost been executed early, he's been kidnapped by ageing terrorists, and his ex-girlfriend, Doris, has created a whole new life for herself, presenting a smutty version of University Challenge on TV.
Paradise Lost in Cyberspace by Collins Wash.
Interesting stuff, anaesthetic, especially when it doesn't quite work. I'd been given a solid whack of nitrous oxide or whatever it is and gone out way before the count of 10, and yet I still felt the blade cut my throat. No words can describe it, except perhaps for the word... But even that's a bit tame.
Swab, please, quick.
On reflection, the trembling handshake of my 81-year-old plastic surgeon Stanley had not inspired confidence.
Oh, make it 2. No, 3.
We've all heard people talking about near-death experiences on the operating table, but it really is one of those things you have to do yourself to get the full effect. It went black. It always does, doesn't it? Hard to say for how long. 10, 15 seconds? Just long enough to think, well, this is it, is it? Oh, blackness, nothing, great, well, this is going to be dull. And then suddenly, with an almighty roar, a large man in robes with a flowing white beard shot past me on a motorbike. Was it God? If so, he nearly killed me.
George, dear?
He's still out like a light. Let's leave him.
Gates of Paradise. Car park. Space reserved for...
Can you hear me, George?
Mrs. Cookson.
Sleeping Beauty awakes. Here's looking at you, kid.
The older woman I recognised as Mrs. Cookson, the kindly leader of the world's most feared terrorist outfit, the Old Age Paramilitaries. But the other woman, her voice was that of Andrea Sunbeam, but the face...
What do you think of mine, then?
Your what?
Face replacement, dummy.
Andrea... It is you. You look gorgeous.
Oh, not so different then.
Terribly sorry about yours, George. I'm afraid the surgeon died during the operation. Which makes a change, doesn't it?
You've just got a little nick under the chin there.
So you're stuck with the same old face. But that's no reason not to prepare you for your first OAP mission.
My what?
To prove yourself worthy of the Old Age Paramilitaries.
Oh, actually, I'm quite happy not to.
What? Are you not prepared to lay down your life for the cause?
Of course, but I'd be equally happy, to make the tea and things.
I wouldn't. Give me some action.
Yes, well, you're just a little too keen, aren't you, dear? Would you mind handing in your weapons for smelting? Soon. Now that's the 80s and over commando unit practicing Aikido.
Looks nasty.
No, dear. It's one of those nice martial arts that redirects your assailant's aggression back onto himself. Oh, Q, this is Andrea Sunbeam, and this is George Smith.
Welcome aboard.
Q will show you all the gadgets you will need for your mission. On you go, Q.
Thank you, Mrs. Cookson.
Q? Like in James Bond?
No, K-E-W.
Oh, Q.
Not at all like in James Bond.
Sorry.
Now pay attention, Smith. This little beauty here could save your life. Electric wheelchair can go from 0 to 70 in 6.3 seconds. Perfect for a quick getaway, so long as the council's provided enough ramps. Don't touch that, Smith.
Sorry, Q.
Now, this is a particular favourite of mine.
A laser pistol?
Ah, that is more like it.
It looks like a gun, but when you're in a real spot and need just a bit of a break, it turns into...
a pipe.
A what?
Self-lighting, too. Here, Smith, try it.
Good.
Enough tobacco in the magazines for 3 good smokes.
Oh, that makes me sick.
Non-smoker?
No, I just hate to see a good-looking gun go to waste.
Andrea, you've got to do something. Violence isn't always the answer.
Oh, yeah? You name me one war that has been won without it.
Well, I can't, obviously, but life isn't all a war, Andrea.
Maybe not for some, George.
Andrea, where are you going?
Women, eh? Don't you sometimes wish you could just press a button at the back of them and turn them into men?
I have to admit that my ardour for the red-blooded Andrea Sunbeam had cooled somewhat. More and more I found myself thinking of Doris, the girl I'd left behind me, back in the real world.
Hello, and welcome to Strip University Challenge. I'm Doris Smith, and you're fully clothed. What are you not? So let's meet the teams that we very much hope to see more of. First up is New College Polly, led by their captain, Sukiono.
Now this, Smith, is an exploding Bible. Press this button and it blows up. Press this button and it turns into a carrying case with belt.
A Bible belt?
Very amusing, Smith. It's for computer disks, such as the Humanity virus.
The Humanity virus?
Worse than any other virus, George. Once we've perfected it, it will render any computer utterly human.
I'm sorry, you've lost me.
Human, Smith. Once infected, the computer begins to resent being asked to do things, especially repetitive tasks. The memory goes hazy, forgetting all the important things, but somehow retaining loads of irrelevant facts about pop music, sport, and the movies.
And what do you normally do when your computer plays up, George?
Look in the manual.
And then?
Swear at it?
Precisely. And a humanized computer does not like being sworn at, George. It'll simply swear at you back, shut off, and never, ever speak to you again.
A normal virus can be cured, George. Humanity cannot.
And we've got the computer boys working on it 24 hours a day in here.
Oh, nice shot, Julian.
Yeah, watch your left flank.
Hold up, boys. It's Q.
How many times, lads? That's not for playing games on. Which historic battle is it today?
Waterloo. It's great. Napoleon always loses.
Oh, there goes his last cannon.
Yeah.
Kenworthy, St John's.
The FA Cup final.
Nope, it won the Eurovision Song Contest. Whatever that was. So, Kenworthy, a false interruption. What's coming off?
My trousers.
They're off! Oh, no! What a long shirt, Kenworthy. Spoil sport. Oh, well, let's try and remove it with another starter for 10. Name the author of Lolita.
Knowles, New College.
Was it Jeffrey Archer?
Doris, light of my life, fire of my loins, how I miss you, my grey-haired nymphette. Doris, do, a deer, a female deer, riss, half a rissole. I do miss you. And I'll watch your show whenever I can. It really is very successful. Doris, I am writing to warn you. Keep away from Dr. O'Connell. He works for the secret police. He will try to use you to get to me. He is dangerous. You won't be able to reply to this, but I'm thinking of you and watching you. Always, George.
No, we better not send that one on.
Very good, Dr. O'Connell.
Where did he send it from?
A public email kiosk.
You found one that worked, did he?
Yeah, apparently so, yes.
I just thought you two ought to be the first to know. We've cracked the Humanity virus.
Oh, excellent. Well done, Q.
Oh, thank you.
So now you're going to run it through central database?
That's right. Bring the whole system to a halt. It's within our grasp.
No more dates of death.
No more dates of death.
Ambitious.
Well, jolly good. Why did you want to tell us?
Somebody's got to plant it there.
What, us? Can't you send in one of your commando units?
It's a vital mission, and I want to send in our top man.
Oh, that's very kind of you, but...
Unfortunately, Ronnie's ripped his back. And with this latest cold snap, everyone's arthritis is playing up something rotten. You two are, without doubt, the nimblest agents we've got.
Well, can't it wait till everyone's better?
Every day is someone's birthday, George.
Sorry?
Every day we delay, the more 70-year-olds are forced to take the paradise pill.
So, how do we get to the central database?
Good for you, dear.
Sorry to interrupt. There's a gentleman to see you. Says it's urgent.
Ronnie, darling, this is a critical planning meeting.
I know, my sweet.
Oh, back still bad? Well, if you could just tell this other man to wait.
Well, I'll do my best, but he's very insistent. Wait, you! Come here. Mrs. Cookson? Hello. Hello, I'm Brian Kettle.
I'm sorry, Mr. Kettle, but...
George! How you doing, mate?
You know each other?
What, me and George?
We met once, didn't we, Brian?
Was it only once? It seems like, more.
Brian's the man who invented tinkly music to be played down the end of phone lines when you're put on hold.
No, wait, I've got to tell you. I have now got an invention that I should be proud to be remembered for. It's something that will save millions of lives all over the world and cure hundreds of diseases in a single blow.
That sounds a lovely idea, Mr. Kettle.
And I've got a small jar of it here. There. The answer to all our prayers.
Cocaine?
No.
Looks like sugar.
No, hold on. This is where I don the rubber gloves. There. Look at that crystal. Isn't it beautiful? That, my friends, is powdered water.
Powdered water?
Do you know how many kids die from polluted water supplies every day? 25,000. 25,000 deaths every day from diarrhoea. That's the thought to put you off your bran flakes, yeah? And powdered water could change all that.
Is it safe to taste?
No, don't put it on your tongue. 1 granule and a gallon of water will explode in your mouth.
A gallon?
1 granule, 1 gallon. I did it once. Lucky I was sticking my tongue out. But you should have seen my trousers. Oh dear, dearie me. Anyway.
Mr. Kettle, we'd be delighted to see a demonstration in due course, but we are in the middle of planning a very important mission.
Just a moment. Brian, do you still live in the basement flat below Central Admin?
Yeah, they're trying to put the service charge up this year, so perhaps not for much longer.
You live below Central Admin?
For my sins, yeah.
Brian, we shall do all in our power to help you.
You will?
In return for one quite large favour.
God is watching you. Have a nice day.
Central Admin is closed.
It's Brian Kettle here.
Central Admin is closed.
I've come to pay my rent.
Central Admin is closed.
But more urgently, the boiler's leaking.
Central Admin is closed.
And if it's not repaired, I could take legal action under the Landlord and Tenants Act, Clause 47, Paragraph 2A, which is why I brought my lawyer with me.
Please take the elevator down to security.
You did it, Brian.
Nice going, Kettle Chip.
Brains 1, brawn 0.
Okay, George, don't spoil it.
Right, well, good luck. Me and Ronnie are popping down to my flat for a cuppa.
We'll join you when we're done.
God is watching you. Have a nice day. Please name your floor.
Basement, please.
Going down.
You look a teeny bit nervous.
Don't talk, Andrea. We're in a lift.
Come on, this way.
God is watching you. Have a nice day.
Wow. Central security.
Which computer do we want?
This one. Pass me the disk.
Humanity?
Not yet. We need that computer battle game.
World War I for Windows.
Should keep security fully occupied.
For how long?
5 years.
It says on the box it'll be over by Christmas.
Don't you believe it. Here goes then. World War One.
Guten Morgen. My name is Archduke Franz Ferdinand.
It started.
Stage 1 completed.
God is one.
Not anymore, buddy.
Listen, it's so quiet.
All the cameras have stopped recording. Okay, this is where we split.
Well, do you really have to go?
Oh, Mr. Non-Violence suddenly grown fond of having a few nasty guns covering his backside?
No.
Brains one, brawn one.
No, I just wonder if, for the good of the operation...
For the good of the operation, you put the disc in Big Jeremy, I cover the main entrance.
Big Jeremy?
Oh, it's the Age Cop's nickname for Central Database.
How come?
Well, presumably it's pretty big, and Jeremy, I think, was the name of the programmer. See you later.
Don't shoot unless... you have to. Alone in the still, shiny corridor, I put my hand to my pocket and felt the shape of a gun. Suddenly, I wished it was real. Thanks to Q, a pull on the trigger would simply turn it into a pipe. Something to look forward to once the mission was completed, but if I ran into the enemy now, it would surely take too long to kill them by passive smoking. There was nowhere to run. Driven purely by some primitive instinct for survival, I reached for my pipe.
George.
O'Connell, what are you doing here?
What am I doing here? I think that question is better directed to you.
Hands up, O'Connell.
What?
I said hands up.
You're on telly, George. The security cameras are off. Oh, I see. What do you want?
We're going to Big Jeremy.
I can't allow that.
Then you die. Was that a wisp of tobacco I could feel on my trigger finger? I didn't dare look down to check.
Follow me.
Oh, no, after you.
Yeah, so you follow me.
Oh, right, yeah.
You're diving in the deep end here, George.
Just keep walking, O'Connell, please.
My boys are not going to approve.
What boys?
You know my boys. Nice cop, nasty cop, quiz cop. They're next door as we speak.
Next door?
Shay Kettle.
Terribly sorry about that.
I'm not. Never apologise. Never explain. Just softening you up a bit, Mr. Kettle.
Isn't that explaining?
The pollen of a buttercup is highly explosive. True or false?
Oh, hurry up and tell us what your invention is, Brian. I can't watch much more of this.
Come on, Brian.
Excuse me, I'm Brian. That's Ronnie.
It's true. Indeed, most flower pollen is inflammable. Now, have a listen to this piece of music.
There you are, George. Big Jeremy.
Where?
On that desk.
Big Jeremy is a laptop?
The ultimate laptop.
And everything runs from that?
It's got a lot of leads at the back.
And it's called Big Jeremy?
A PR firm came up with it. It's all a question of presentation these days, isn't it? As you may know, Jeremy was the name of the original programmer.
Yes.
And he also happened to be quite a large bloke.
Oh.
Not fat or anything, heavy bones. What's that you got there?
It's time Big Jeremy met his Waterloo.
Benny, Bjorn and Anna Fred. So I'll give you half a point.
I used to love my days at the gym, Brian.
Did you?
They said a bit of boxing, bit of discipline would keep a young lad like me out of trouble.
Where do you keep the tea bags, Brian?
Top shelf.
But it didn't get me into Oxbridge, did it?
No.
Oh, you've got chamomile.
Name the world's only egg-laying mammal.
You don't pick up much history or philosophy when you're skipping.
Look, please.
I'll repeat that. Name the world's only egg-laying mammal.
The duck-billed platypus.
Who the...
Correct! Well interrupted.
4 against 1, Brian. That is not fair.
No, there were 3 of them and 2. 2 of us.
2?
Ronnie.
Oh, Liberty Chip.
Poor chap.
God, that is so depressing. Oh, Mrs. Cookson's hubby. Oh, what is she going to say?
She might just start with a bit of silence.
1 minute you're breathing, the next you're collateral damage.
Oh, what a shame, George. It can't get through the virus scan.
Drive Z. Set up Xe. Control Alt Delete.
George?
You beauty! It's got the virus.
What issue? Humanity. Wow, I feel so alive. And I want a holiday.
Humanity.
You've heard of it?
Only rumours.
And now it's humanizing the whole network.
George, you done yet? Hey, company.
Mission accomplished. Humanity's in.
Doc O'Connell.
Who are you?
Too late to save Big Jezza, huh?
Andrea Sunbeam? You've had a face job.
Maybe I have. Maybe I'm someone else. Who hasn't?
That's the way. You keep him guessing, Andrea.
Thanks, George.
Oh dear, George. Not such a clever clogs after all.
You know what, O'Connell? I think I'll have a smoke. And while I'm at it, I must thank you for keeping your hands up so long.
What?
I know this looks like a gun, but the fact is, O'Connell, it's a pipe. Sorry, but the worst I could have done was riddle you with tobacco. Watch this. Bloody hell!
Ouch.
You've hit Big Jeremy.
This isn't a pipe.
Oh, very Magritte.
Where did you get that, George?
From Q's office on his desk.
Well, that's where I left it.
I really felt that.
Stop it!
Stop! He sounds angry. Stop it! Oh, George, your gun!
Big Jeremy, I'm sorry! I'm very, very sorry!
George. Not a good time to drop your gun.
Give it back, O'Connell!
Ooh, nice try, George. Clever trick. Give it back. You know, I very nearly fell for that one.
Well, come on, Andrea. Don't just stand there. Get your gun out. Zap him.
Sorry, no can do.
What do you mean?
I left my guns on the kitchen table.
What?
Miss Sunbeam, would you kindly put your hands up? Thank you so much.
What are you going to do?
I've got an awful feeling I'm going to have to send you both to paradise.
Oh, please, O'Connell.
George, would you mind explaining how the doctrine of non-violence works out at this point?
Brains before brawn. Yes, I think dear old Mrs. Cookson will be eating a slice of humble cake with her tea today.
Pie, you mean?
What?
It's humble pie.
He's right, so that tea time thing doesn't really work.
Okay, nobody move.
Brian!
Brian Kettle?
Yes, now, drop that gun, or I fire this.
Fire that? Forgive me, but is that a real laser gun?
Oh, far, far worse, mister. It's a water pistol.
How very, very terrifying.
This jar is full of powdered water. A gallon, a granule.
Don't do it, Brian.
Brian, don't pull that trigger.
Have you all gone mad?
All I have to do is fire one drop into it, and I flood the whole place sky high.
Tell you what, why don't you just put your hands up and join your friends over here?
I'm serious.
Mr. Kettle, I have run out of patience.
Ah! Right. I warned you.
Brian, don't!
I warned you. Oh. My powder, it doesn't...
It's going to take a while flooding the place at that rate.
Oh!
Brian, are you all right?
So who's next?
George, your Bible. Pass it to me quick.
What? Oh, right.
All right then, what's your favourite passage to send you on your way?
Let there be smoke. George, where are you?
Here. I can't see anything. Oh, no. Security's working again.
No, that's a smoke alarm. Where's O'Connell? Whoa, thanks, O'Connell. That makes it easier.
Andrea!
I've got the gun.
Get in there! Look! He's gone!
Out away, Andrea! You missed it!
Jeez, I kill people, I get flack. I don't kill them, I get flack. Oh, thank God that stopped. Oh, great. Sprinklers.
Oh! Brian? Brian, are you okay?
We better get out of here.
I'm hit bad.
Badly.
Yeah, badly.
Brian, what happened to your powdered water?
It didn't work.
Andrea, get an ambulance or a really fast wheelchair.
It did work once, George. I swear.
And it will again.
George. Oh, I've had it.
No, you haven't, Brian.
George, I don't want to argue about it.
Brian, tell me the formula.
I need more time.
Tell me the formula, and I swear that I shall do everything in my power to make sure that people remember the name of Brian Kettle for the greatest invention known to man.
Tell the truth, George, mate. I don't give a damn how I'm remembered. I just don't want to die.
Come on, Brian. We've got to get out of here.
I'd love to join you, but...
Brian, hold on.
Paradise.
Fight it, Brian.
My parking space.
George, we better go.
Did he say parking space?
Come on, George. Let's take him home.
By the time we got back to OAP headquarters, the sun was coming up. We buried Ronnie Cookson at 11, Brian Kettle at noon, both in OAP heroes' graves. On top of Brian's coffin, I laid a small bowl of his precious, useless powder. Had powdered water ever worked? Or had his earlier notoriety as the man who invented tinkly music down the phone simply driven him to self-delusion?
You all right, George?
Can a man be so disappointed in what he has to offer the world that it drives him mad?
I'm always struck by how many of us stay sane.
I'm so sorry about Ronnie, Mrs. C.
Yes. Still, it is a considerable comfort to know he was trying to save Brian when they killed him.
Yeah.
The earth thudded onto Brian Kettle's coffin, and as I leant over to bid a final farewell, a single tear rolled down my nose and dropped into the grave, and into the bowl. A shovelful of dry earth landed on top, and I turned away. What was that?
What was what, George? Come along, dear. No more tears. The revolution starts here.
Paradise Lost in Cyberspace was written by Colin Wash and starred Stephen Moore with Patsy Byrne. Also, Edna Doré, Laura Lee Kay, Jeff McIvern, Melanie Hudson, Chris Douglas, Peter Serafinovich, Louis McLeod, Dave Lamb, and featuring myself as Big Jeremy. The producer was Richard Wilson.